Now, Flo's still on holiday. Nick Rushworth is joining us for the rest of the week. Good to have you with us on the programme, as ever, Nick. Very much, of course, about the death of these three French sporting heroes, of course, the French newspapers today.
Indeed. Let's turn right away to one of the freebie commuter papers that people across France will be reading in towns and cities, that 20 minutes, 20 minutes. And it's got the headline, Destin brisé, with a photo of the three sporting stars who... they've had their lives cut off in their prime, I suppose, is the message of that headline. And that is exactly the same headline in one of the other papers here in France, Aujourd'hui en France, Le Parisien. And there you can see the three sporting stars. Now, Florence, Arthaud, Camille Muffat and Alexis Vastine. Now, they were killed along with 7 other people while they were working for the TV reality show Dropped for TF1 in Argentina. The paper Aujourd'hui en France, Le Parisien, saying, yes, this is really a question of France now in mourning for this. France of having a dreadful year, really, Stuart, in lots of ways, and this is the latest episode. The paper there, the quote that stood out for me, that this is the worst TV reality tragedy we've seen.
And also the top story in Libération, they're leading on a big photo with the three stars, aren't they?
Yeah, look at that one. There you can see Libération this Wednesday with their headline hors norme, which means that they were exceptional personalities, exceptional stars, each in their own way, wrote a page of sporting history, the paper says. Now, Camille Muffat was a champion swimmer, wasn't she, at the London Games, Stuart? Alexis Vastine, a boxer, he won an Olympic medal in 2008. And yachtswoman Florence Arthaud, there in the middle, she was famous for winning the Route du Rhum. That was 25 years ago in 1990. Now, one of the other papers, Le Monde, is asking, well, what is it that attracts sports stars to go into these TV shows, TV reality shows there? Why do they get involved with TV reality? And it points out that people such as tennis player Henri Lecomte and cyclist Richard Virenque have appeared in French TV reality shows. And they conclude that basically what we have is a factor such as money, of course, media exposure, just the adrenaline rush of being involved with such a programme. And then also the question of, well, really what we've got is... this whole question of getting the name out there, of really just saying, I'm more than just that sport, I can do other things. But the paper concludes, Le Monde concludes, well, no, enough is enough. You've got to be able to say no to some of these TV reality shows because they're too demanding and too weird. And are you really up to it? Even as a sports star, are you really up to it with some of these programmes?
Well, Le Figaro is also leading with this story as well today. But it's an interview with France's new EU Commissioner, Pierre Moscovici, which dominates the paper as well, isn't it?
Well, this is the front page, Moscovici there with Le Figaro saying, l'effort de la France n'est pas suffisant. France's effort to meet EU targets is just not enough. Now, he is, Pierre Moscovici, French, but also the Commissioner for Economic and Financial Affairs. That's good news, obviously, for France in terms of trying to sell its message on this. But he's actually not playing to the wicket of France at this point, saying, I want to issue a warning. You must have a clear legislative agenda for your targets, for meeting these EU deficit targets. There you can see the reforms in France don't go far enough. And France has been given a 2-year reprieve, hasn't it, Stuart, for those deficit targets for the EU. And that's not been well viewed in other parts of the EU. France being seen perhaps getting a bit of favoritism there. Now, this whole question of the reforms that are in the pipeline for France have involved what we've seen recently, a huge political kerfuffle surrounding the Macron bill. Remember that, the Sunday trading bill and other measures which the socialists are trying to push through. They're literally forcing it through. Pressure really on the French government to meet these targets and find reforms that will actually raise cash to really get the economy back on track. Let's go to another paper, L'Opinion, which on its front page, looking at the tasks that are really out there for Hollande. And there we can see him not depicted very nicely in his helmet, of course. No explanation of what that's about. But it's saying that, yes, he's got those economic pressures, but also political pressures, of course, with these departmental elections coming up at the end of the month. And basically, basically, what we've got is he's run out of options. There's going to be a big defeat, the paper says, and his only option, he can't replace the Prime Minister as he did, last year for the municipal vote last May. He's actually got to have a reshuffle. So L'Opinion this Wednesday is saying there's going to be a government reshuffle after this vote. So that's the politics and the pressures for Hollande and this government. Let me just have a look at the Catholic daily La Croix, its front page, which has foreign news. We don't see that too much, and it's talking about Syria. How do we get Syria out of the chaos? And it's reflecting on a visit made by French MPs to Damascus 2 weeks ago, and it says there should be no realpolitik concerning Assad. He has barrel bombs and chemical weapons against his own population, and he must not be taken on board, no matter what the Islamic State organization does in Syria. So that's a look at some of the French press this Wednesday, Stuart.
OK, and we're going to finish with this. Nick's give me this to look at, because it's a very poignant front page, front of L'Équipe, which is the sports newspaper here in France, isn't it, Nick? Nice pictures there of to remember those three sporting heroes.
Yeah.
OK, Nick, thank you very much. Nice to see that on the front of L'Équipe, so well done to them for publishing that.